Let's get started with our first news. Dana White has now explained why Arman was denied a lightweight title shot, and the reasoning has stirred a lot of discussion across the MMA world. According to Dana White, the headbutt incident involving Arman and Dan Hooker played a major role in the final decision. While many fans believed Arman had done more than enough inside the octagon to earn his opportunity, the UFC leadership clearly saw the situation differently. Dana made it clear that this was not about one single moment, but the headbutt absolutely mattered. It was a significant factor, and it sent the wrong message at a critical time. The UFC expects discipline, control, and professionalism, especially from fighters who are on the verge of fighting for a world title. When something like that happens, it forces the promotion to take a step back and reassess everything. There were fans online arguing that Arman should have been next in line regardless. They felt his performances, consistency, and momentum spoke louder than any controversy. However, Dana White emphasized that the UFC looks at the full picture. That includes behavior, timing, optics, and how situations are handled both inside and outside the cage. Dana admitted that many elements factored into the decision. It was not personal, and it was not a punishment, but consequences still exist at the highest level of the sport. Title shots are not just earned by winning. They are earned by showing maturity, awareness, and respect for the rules of the game. Arman is still viewed as one of the most dangerous contenders in the division. His time is far from over, and the door is not closed. But for now, the UFC has made it clear that actions matter, and every detail counts when championship opportunities are on the line. Move on to another news. Last night, Arman and the MMA guru joined Aiden Ross's stream, and things quickly got intense. The discussion started light, but tension rose when the guru claimed that he believed Ilya could beat Islam Makhachev at 155. Arman, clearly annoyed, immediately pushed back, making it clear that Topuria had no chance against Islam at that weight. The conversation quickly turned into a debate over divisions, skills, and fight records. The guru argued, trying to clarify, saying, "Yeah, bro, you at 170? No, at 155, yes." Arman wasn't impressed. He calmly corrected him, explaining that Islam was not a 155 fighter, and at 170, he still wouldn't give Ilya the edge. The debate bounced back and forth. The guru insisted that Ilya's boxing could be enough to win, while Arman reminded him that Ilya also had grappling, pointing out how he had submitted Bryce Mitchell. Then things took a physical turn. The guru tried to take Arman down right there on the stream. Arman, in true fighter fashion, reacted immediately. He locked onto the guru, testing his grip and countering every attempt. The back and forth was almost comical but also intense as they struggled for control. 40 seconds. "You won't tell me nothing, brother," Arman said, laughing but staying focused. Every move was precise, every hold was calculated. The guru tried to find leverage, but Arman stayed calm, demonstrating his superior wrestling instincts. He worked methodically, controlling the legs, adjusting grips, and keeping the guru on the defensive. "I got the single leg. That's all I want," Arman said, showing his focus and determination. The clock seemed to tick slower as the struggle continued. "Holding on to that leg, that's all I wanted," he added, never letting go until he got the control he aimed for. The interaction was part banter, part skill display, and completely hilarious to viewers. But it also showed why Arman is one of the most respected fighters in MMA. He remained composed, controlled, and dominant throughout, turning what could have been a chaotic moment into a clear demonstration of his technical prowess and mental toughness. It was a moment fans won't forget anytime soon, and it cemented Arman's reputation as not just a fighter, but a master in every aspect of the cage. Move on to another news. Justin Gaethje is now making headlines once again, and this time, the stakes couldn't be higher. The veteran lightweight has made it clear that UFC 324 could very well be the final chapter of his illustrious career if he doesn't come out on top. Justin has previously hinted that a missed opportunity at a title shot might push him to retire, but now the scenario is even more urgent. If he doesn't hoist the interim lightweight belt on January 24th, it looks like he'll be hanging up the gloves for good. Justin is booked to face Paddy Pimblett for the interim belt in Las Vegas, and the tension is palpable. Recently, his longtime coach Trevor Whitman sat down with ESPN MMA and revealed the seriousness of the situation. "This is our last run. If we don't win this fight, we're not going on. We're not going to be gatekeepers or chase money fights," Whitman explained. Justin has always been a goal setter, and this fight represents everything he has worked for. Wittman also emphasized that if Justin wins, the star hopes to defend the belt multiple times, pushing himself to the limit while also staying mindful of his health and family. "We win this belt. My shoot-for-the-moon goal would be to repeat defenses over and over," Wittman said. At 37 years old and with a career filled with wars inside the octagon, it's no surprise that Justin is taking this fight as a defining moment. Wittman also hinted that Justin could lean heavily on his wrestling for this bout. "We're ready for everything. We did not go into this fight thinking it's just a striking battle. Justin has spent so much time on grappling, and his wrestling is top level, both offensively and positionally," he stated. Despite the consensus favoring Pimblett, experts like Michael Chandler are leaning toward Justin. Chandler highlighted Gaethje's long reach, powerful kicks, and composure inside the cage. "Gage is a whole different animal," Chandler said, predicting Justin as the likely interim champion, with a possible showdown against Ilya later this year. Justin Gaethje's path to gold is clear, and UFC 324 could very well be the defining night of his career. Move on to another news. Paddy Pimblett and Dan Hooker have recently sparked a heated back and forth that's caught the attention of the MMA world. Both fighters are expected to compete in the octagon, but based on their recent comments, it's clear these two are ready to scrap with no compensation if the opportunity arises. The tension started when Pimblett spoke with the MMA guru about his upcoming fight with Justin Gaethje and decided to take a jab at Dan Hooker. He pointed out that people were saying Justin Gaethje is old and reminded everyone that Justin is only 2 years older than Dan. Pimblett went further, making a comment about Hooker's grappling, implying it was weak and easy to exploit. Those remarks quickly made their way back to Hooker, who didn't hold back in his response. In a comment and accompanying video clip, Hooker fired back, saying, "Ain't said when we were face to face. I thought we were mates, but you're not a very good mate, are you? Rip Ricky. It's on sight. You fat." He continued with a mix of humor and aggression, emphasizing that he hates everyone ranked ahead of him, but doesn't care about those behind. Hooker's delivery was both playful and intense, showing that he's not one to shy away from confrontation. Pimblett, not surprisingly, did not take kindly to Hooker's response, especially the part that referenced a friend of his who had passed away. Pimblett fired back, saying, "Thought we couldn't be mates because I'm ranked above you. You took a hypothetical joke about how bad your grappling is and responded by talking about my mate. Now that's the lowest of the low, and on sight is fine by me. You're utter dogfighting." This exchange has set the stage for an intriguing rivalry, with fans eagerly watching to see how it unfolds. The tension between Pimblett and Hooker has added a new layer of excitement to the lightweight division, and with Pimblett's fight at UFC 324 on the horizon, speculation is already building. If Pimblett comes up short against his opponent, the UFC could very well look at setting up a fight with Hooker next. The drama, the rivalry, and the potential clash in the octagon have all the ingredients for a high-stakes, must-watch showdown. Both fighters have made it clear they aren't holding anything back, and the MMA community is ready for the fireworks. Move on to another news. Arman is making it clear that he has zero interest in serving as a backup for UFC 324. Despite being the #1 contender in the lightweight division, Arman is refusing to simply step in for the interim title fight between Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje. After his dominant win in November, which extended his winning streak to 5, many fans and analysts were calling for Arman to get a title shot next. The announcement of Pimblett facing Gaethje instead left Arman out of the picture, and the internet quickly filled with complaints, rumors, and speculation about whether he might serve as a backup. Arman recently addressed the situation in a conversation with Shaquille Majori, leaving no doubt about his stance. "No, I didn't talk to the UFC. I wouldn't cut my weight for just money because it's hard. If they ask me, I'll do it. But they didn't ask. It's better for me to not cut weight. If I cut, I want to fight," he explained. Arman referenced his experience last June when he weighed in as a backup for the Ilya versus Charles Oliveira fight. "I already cut in June and nothing happened, and I spent my energy for the training camp, the weight cut. It's always stressful when you cut your weight," he added. His words highlighted both the physical and mental toll that cutting weight and preparing for a fight takes, especially when there is no certainty of competing. Arman's approach is strategic and focused. He is prioritizing his energy, his health, and his career trajectory, rather than being a standby option. He wants fights that matter, fights where he can compete at his highest level and where the effort of training and cutting weight is rewarded with a real opportunity. His message to the UFC and to fans is clear. When Arman prepares, he prepares to fight, not to be a placeholder. This stance reinforces why Arman is considered one of the most disciplined and calculated fighters in the division. While the UFC 324 title fight will go on without him, Arman remains a looming presence in the lightweight landscape. Fans can be sure that when Arman does step back into the octagon, it will be for a fight that matters, one where every ounce of his preparation counts. He's saving his energy for the battles that define legacies, and UFC 324 is simply not that fight for him. Move on to another news. Alsaev, one of the biggest voices in Russian MMA and the freshly crowned best Russian MMA journalist of 2025, just dropped absolutely wild news that has the entire Russian MMA world buzzing. He revealed that Dana White personally reached out to Khabib Nurmagomedov to open negotiations about a potential return tied to a once-in-a-lifetime event at the White House. This all started after multiple Russian outlets reported that Saudi businessmen are ready to financially back the UFC and cover Khabib's salary if he agrees to fight just once. The number being thrown around is insane. Reportedly $100 million for a single fight. That figure would shatter every pay record in UFC history and put it in a completely different universe. Reports claim that former United States President Donald Trump is fully on board with the idea and sees Khabib as the top pound-for-pound fighter in the world, even years after retirement. Nothing is signed or official yet, but the fact that a direct phone call has already taken place shows this is far more than internet noise. What once sounded totally unreal is now being backed by one of the most credible voices in Russian MMA. Dana White and his team requested a phone call with Khabib, and it reportedly happened just a few days ago. You need to understand how serious this is on their side. An official request went through the Russian UFC media team to set up the conversation. This kind of outreach actually happens more often than people think when Western figures are involved. Dana regularly gets on the phone when something truly matters to him, and this is clearly one of those moments. In the past, Dana has even called to inform the Russian UFC team if a journalist should be banned from future events over something they said or wrote. Conor McGregor has done the same in years past. A Russian fighter said something off about Conor, and Conor personally reached out through the UFC's Russian media team to find out exactly who it was. The drama surrounding Dana, Conor, and now Khabib shows just how much influence and control these figures have behind the scenes. A Khabib return, backed by $100 million in White House-level attention, would be the single biggest shockwave in MMA history. The pieces are moving, and fans around the world are watching closely as this story develops. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev once again proved why he is one of the biggest stars in MMA today, as he received a hero's welcome upon his arrival in Vienna, Austria. The airport was absolutely electric, packed with a massive crowd of fans, all eager to catch a glimpse of the undefeated sensation. From the moment Khamzat stepped off the plane, the energy was unbelievable. Fans were cheering, chanting his name, waving banners, and holding up signs celebrating his incredible rise in the sport. Chimaev's global appeal is undeniable. People from all over Austria, and even international fans who had flown in, gathered to show their support. The scene resembled a rock concert as cameras flashed, fans screamed, and the atmosphere crackled with excitement. Khamzat, always composed but clearly appreciative, took the time to acknowledge the crowd, waving, smiling, and showing his trademark humility despite the massive attention. Every step he took through the airport was met with thunderous applause, selfies, and countless videos being recorded for social media. This welcome is a testament to Khamzat's impact on the sport. His performances in the octagon, marked by dominance, precision, and a ferocious will to win, have earned him not only victories but a legendary reputation among fight fans worldwide. The Austrian crowd made it clear that they see Khamzat as a true superstar, someone who transcends MMA and has become a cultural phenomenon in the process. Observers noted that this type of reception is reserved for only the most iconic athletes. Khamzat's combination of skill, charisma, and consistent excellence in the cage has created a fan base that is passionate and loyal. from young fans holding homemade posters to longtime MMA enthusiasts recording every moment. The scene was a celebration of everything Khamzat represents in the sport: dominance, dedication, and a magnetic presence that draws attention wherever he goes. As he made his way through the airport, it was clear that Khamzat Chimaev is not just a fighter. He is a global superstar whose influence reaches far beyond the octagon. Fans will be talking about this arrival for years to come, and the energy in Vienna proved that wherever Khamzat goes next, the world will be watching, ready to celebrate every step of his journey. His hero's welcome in Austria is another milestone in a career that shows no signs of slowing down.